Welcome to Adventures Till the Curtain Calls, where we bring you a Dungeons & Dragons podcast for your entertainment. 6 individuals find themselves swept into the world of Acera, a world filled with magic, wonder, and peril. Starring Andrew Wilmore, Will Acton, Anthony Anderson, Jack Reuther, Nathan Dennison, David Nika, and the Dungeon Master Wes Bridges. It's time to dim the lights, raise the curtain, and let the show begin.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Adventures Till the Curtain Calls. So, Will Acton is with us today because he had Fiddler on the Roof at Springfield Muni during our last session, so unfortunately couldn't join. How was the show, Will?
It was amazing. I miss everybody. I miss everything. It feels like I am forgetting to do something at night because I have all this free time and I don't know what to do with it.
And it's been 2 days since you closed show.
Yeah.
Okay, so the it's real. It's a problem. And those are my dogs in the background. There's no getting around that, everybody. But, okay. So, just to catch you up, Will.
Okay.
So, you as a party reached Volkstad, which is kind of like the religious center of not only Egernesia, but of the world. And they decided to split the party.
Oh, wonderful.
Not just in 2, but in 3.
Okay.
So, it was... Felix and Renfrey, they went to turn in the bounty so you guys can get some cash. Banner had attempted to go get a room and he at an inn for you guys. He came back and everyone was gone. He was just like, okay. So the incidental 3-way split was an accident. But
okay.
He came back out and everyone else was gone. So he kind of did his own thing. He found his temple to his god and rightly got beat down.
Wonderful.
But it was a good time. And with you, 7, was Odarin and Eldon. And the way that Volkstad is set up, it's kind of like a pinwheel almost, or more like a bike with spokes.
Okay.
And each section is devoted to a different deity. Some sections are a little bit nicer looking, some are more homely, some just look kind of in complete disarray or darkness, kind of a dark, I don't want to say overcast, foreboding, but kind of that kind of feel. I would say diagonally from Harry Potter kind of feel.
Awesome.
You get that when you get to the thoroughfare, but when you get to like the dark, the Bergen and Bots, the dark section, that's how those areas are feeling.
Okay.
But in the center of the town, much like a wheel, there is a central section where town crying happens. There's a message board and everything. And kind of from there, people who are newer to the city are able to kind of find their way around. There's not a kiosk, but at the peak of each, or the entrance, I should say, of each section is an image of a deity.
Okay.
So the section that Renfrey and that... I'm spacing right now. Ren and Felix, yes, they went to was more dedicated to the god of protection.
Okay.
Banner on his own went to Brexana, which is the goddess of war, and you guys have made your way to the area of Qheien, which is the god of knowledge and mysteries. And you got there, no issues really. It's like walking inside of the Temple to Qheien is like Belle being introduced to the Beast's library.
Okay.
Just so grandiose. I would equivocate it to a temple that is like a glorified library. They very much treasure knowledge and the collection of knowledge here. Your tiny group was able to find out a bit about Lendris and Ivberus that in history have kind of been a pair, have been named together.
Okay.
But it has been centuries of this name and them popping in and out. So again, kind of the thing was we weren't sure if Lendris was kind of like an Amanda of the modern day. Like, I don't want to say every other girl is named Amanda, or every other person is named Amanda, but kind of a more common name.
Okay.
But the fact that these two names kind of pop up together simultaneously through history leads you to believe that the information that you find regarding this is good. The information that you were able to find out is that Ivbaris had kind of connotations with the Weeping City, which is located to the south about 3 days.
Okay.
It took you guys about 4 days to get here, and it's 3 days south.
Yeah.
So it kind of checks out that timeline that Lendris said, hey, take a week vacation down.
Yeah. Okay.
So kind of the dots were connecting that maybe the Weeping City is another name for Zeragos. But in this description of the Weeping City, it is also told that it is completely destroyed and desolate. The reason it's called the Weeping City is because ash still falls like tears. There is known to be, well, it is purported that there is wailing from those that were not able to escape the city during its calamity, whatever that may be, after it was razed for 3 years straight during the Ash Wars.
Okay.
So there was a moment, though, that the bookkeeper, and of course, I got to get my names pulled up because I'm great at creating lore. I am terrible creating names. So, and
I saw the group chat with talking about
name
creation there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I pretty much have to write down every name that I come across just because I'll forget. Oh my gosh. No, Google, I do not want to verify. It is good. We're fine. I apologize, everyone at home. So, when you had gotten to the Temple of Qheien, it's actually headed by the Book Maester Teolok, which is a golden dragonborn.
Ooh.
But he's very advanced in age. If it's almost like the gold has turned to a more brass color.
Ooh.
And so, there is one point, though. He goes, oh, I haven't seen one of you in a long time, which obviously piqued your interest.
Yes.
He invited you to kind of stay the night since you really only have to do like a soft restart mode to yourself to get your rest.
Yeah.
But also it gave them an opportunity to collect what they could about Lendris, Ivbaris, and the Weeping City for the rest of your party. So we're going to kind of pick up there.
Okay.
It was approximately about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon when everyone left to just honestly to find Banner and go do their thing. So we'll pick up with you and the Bookmaester. Your compatriots seem very kind. They took Beakley for you as well. Just to, O'Darren made a leash essentially for Beakley, but it's more or less like a massive dog pulling a toddler, equivocating strength to one another.
Yeah,
So
I love this.
Yeah, he and Eldon, they had fun trying to corral your
Get the harness on him.
your owl bear. So
cool.
And actually, because this is coming out after the regular episode, Banner had harnesses made for Beakley.
Oh.
So that you can actually like carry him
Okay. Dope.
and ride him in the future. So
In the future, I was gonna say not right now.
yeah. So
Okay.
so
Awesome.
I appreciate your staying with me. We can learn a bit more about you if possible and get your compatriots their information. If you don't mind, I would also, and I don't wish to intrude, I do have a friend, an artisan here in town who I think might be able to help us maybe understand your physical components, if you are okay with me summoning them.
Did it hurt?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know, but I don't think so. We wouldn't intrude if there... Do you feel pain?
Yes. I think it's pain. It feels like pain.
Okay. So we can try, and if it does cause you pain, we can of course stop. We don't wish to harm you in any way. If that is all right with you.
Yes.
Okay. So there, he turns to his side and just speaks to another scribe and asks, because I got my list of names here. I'm ready. Can you please go get Master Stockgrace for me? Thank you. And the scribe kind of heads out of the temple and out. If you would like to come with me, we can. I believe that we can take a look at some of these writings and may pertain to you, and I can tell you what I know, and maybe discover some things together.
Yeah.
As you had entered the temple, you had noticed a very distinct, restricted section. It was barred off. You can see, I described it very much like Doctor Strange. There was books with chains on them. Okay. Some parchments were in parchment containers with runes on them, like wards. Mm-hmm. And there is a guard that is forever stationed outside of this gate. As you two approach, he opens the gate and allows you two to pass through. The gate is immediately closed behind you. And you definitely, as opposed to the stagnant smell that you get out of a library, like when you get here, you get the smell of old books. Like you walked into an old book retailer or something like that, which everyone knows that smell. And I really enjoy that smell, but you do get a bit of the must. It's a little bit, I would say, sour to the palate and everything, but you can tell that there is age in this section. Many of these books or parchments that you pass have thick layers of dust on them, especially the ones that have wards on them or the chains. They are not messed with. There are a few that look newer, and when I say they look newer, it's just comparative to the accumulation of dust. There's not as much dust on this one, so it looks newer, but you still don't know how long it's been here. Some of these look like the pages are falling out or dissipating on their own, so that kind of tells their age.
Okay.
Some of them look pristine, so for all you know, some of them could be old, some of them could be old and just not show it. But the Book Maester takes you a little bit deeper into the restrictions section, and there looks like another wall of these chained books, but he mutters this incantation, and you almost see this bubble open so that you can pass through. It looks like there's a passage that continues on. And he motions you to go through, and he kind of follows in lockstep with you. The moment you two pass through, it seems to close behind you. You are able to look out, and it just looks like another turn. But to anyone that were to peer from the outside, this is a wall, solid wall constructed. There's no getting in, or there's nothing past here.
This is where we keep most of our writings that we have found from before the High King. Many of these manuscripts and collections of books and volumes, they are indeed priceless in and of themselves because of their significant worth to society, and so we must keep them utterly protected. There are some things in here that are magical or mechanically geared that we have no understanding, and if we were to find something about you, it will be in here.
There is a single I apologize. There is a single table with a burning candle, but it doesn't look like the wax or wick at any point diminishes. It's just this constant source of light, but it doesn't actually give off heat. Just this light. And pups, you're fine, I promise. I know. Yeah, I know.
They feel the tension.
They feel the tension in the air. Huskies, for anyone who has them out there, you know. So he has you kind of sit down at the table and doesn't get anything out. He just kind of sits across from you for a moment. He's like,
so I must be honest, I have seen 3 of your kind before.
3 of them.
not of your caliber, though. It almost seemed like they were designed for different things per se, but along the same kind of along the same lines, but they were significantly deteriorated or beyond repair. We still don't understand much about them. And so I apologize. I intrinsically know not much, except that they, like you, had metal components on the outside and some sort of organic wood-like material on the inside. It seemed like there may have been at one point a way to power them, but unfortunately we could not pierce that kind of wood organic grain, no matter what we do. It's almost like kind of like an old tree that had fallen. Its bark-like texture had hardened and roughened, but unlike being able to splinter easily, it is more or less a solid mass. It is. They are being held in other institutes around Sarah. Much research is nearly impossible, so they simply sit. Protected, of course. We do know not what their purpose or their function is, so we take precautions. And you can see that, like, he's studying you. Now, when it comes to 7, because I don't think I ever asked this, in terms of emotion, does 7 emote? Does 7 show anything? So I know that you had said that he is kind of like 2 goggle things where, like, you know, the colors themselves can change in there, but how does 7 emote?
Yeah, so I would say your biggest clue is definitely like the color of those eyes, but his face, you know, like with like the different armor plates basically, can almost like shift around and contort itself to kind of resemble facial expressions. Okay.
And, you know, as he's telling you that... apologies, wow. As he's telling you... I know, right? I love it, though. As he's telling you this information, though, there are certainly emotions that go over you. There's there's intrigue. There's kind of sadness when you find out they're not operable. He's studying you intently, and he speaks up after some time of just kind of letting the information kind of sit a little bit with you. Would you mind, if it's possible, I can try and peer into your memories. If you are organic in nature, I could possibly access these things. Would you be allowable to?
Yes, please.
If you don't mind, for safety's sake, we do not know what your purpose was. We don't know what you were. I am going to restrain you, just in case. We are in one of the most protected areas in the world, and as much as this is a part of you and you of it, I do not wish to see it destroyed.
I fully understand. Please keep in mind that I grow quite big when I get angry.
Oh, you get like another foot?
It's like me twice.
Okay.
You might need some extra restraints.
Okay, then.
He pulls out these manacles. Well, I say pull out. It's almost like he reaches behind him and you see there's nothing. He like almost turns the hand and they appear within them.
That's cool.
Yes, yes, isn't it?
And he asks you to put out your arms and he locks them in and you can feel... I don't want to say it's pain. It's kind of like it's like that static shock that you get from reaching for a doorknob after walking with socks across carpet. Like it's a little shock. You're like, oh, okay, interesting. Like you get that little shock he locks them on you, but it almost seems to like reverberate through your whole body. Again, not causing you pain, but a very unpleasant little shockwave.
Okay.
He then mutters and draws some sigils in the air as those arms that were restrained now become glued almost to the table. You're fine, pup. But they become glued to the table, and you find yourself almost immobilized, like sitting at this table. And he lays a hand on you, on your head, and you feel this surge of energy. You see memories of the past couple of days of your battles, of your journeys. You also see your walk with Felix when you met him. Mm-hmm. But you also see kind of trailing back to just waking up. And you were found in the Republic of Reese, which is to the far east. Mm-hmm. One of the few democratically run areas of the world. But waking up and just instantly having your confusion. But from there, it almost feels like static begins to happen, but you start seeing it's almost like the old analog TVs where you would see, like, you get static and image, be static for a hot minute, and you'd be like, oh, great reception, and then it disappear.
Okay.
But you'll see flashes of different dragonborns kind of working on you. You don't inherently speak Draconic, but it almost seems like where they are in the process, not so. You are looking through your own eyes. It's almost like you're being built.
Okay.
You see slates of this wooden-like material being placed on you, and you feel little sears of heat where they're putting it. Then it'll fade out again. You'll fade back in, and they're talking about another thing, but they're at a table maybe next to you. We'll say that with this time that, there may be even a little bit of a turn of the head, and you see a very similarly crafted automaton. Not exactly like you.
Okay.
A little bit different. You even see, I'll say that across the wall, another flash, you see, like, again, a different, not you, but similar to you, just kind of, I'm going to say decrepit. I don't want to say destroyed, but like, almost like when something, something metal heats up from the inside, and so it causes the outside to start to melt a bit.
Okay.
That's almost what you're seeing going on around the chest region.
Okay.
But then that kind of fades out. You do feel then an instant pain. And you, William Acton, come to the forefront.
Whoa. Okay.
You are in this room with these books. You see this giant lizard-like creature across from you, and you can't move. These are not your hands. You know your body. You're like, you don't feel in your body. What do you do, Will Acton?
Panic. Hardcore. I probably will shout a little bit if I'm able to, and just kind of probably not even words, just more of just like a like.
The lizard-like creature across from you has a near instant reaction. Just like pulls back and be like, "Who are you?"
My name's Will. Who are you?
I'm the Book Maester Teolok. Why are you in this body?
I don't know. I felt pain and I'm here.
Where were you prior to this pain?
At the Hoagland.
Where is that? Is that
in Springfield, Illinois?
Just you don't know the anatomy of a dragonborn as a human will in this world, but you can imagine the most vacant, like, kind of. What are you talking about? Look,
where am I now?
You are in the Temple of Qheien in Igronesia, in Volkstad. Are you a god, a demon, or a devil?
You know, I never really explored the question, but I don't think either. I'm human?
And you're in this automaton's body. Interesting.
I'm gonna like try to look at my hands.
I'm gonna say that while you can't move, you can at least like you can wiggle your toes. You can, and for the most part, you have semi freedom to move your head. You could pretty much go like the left and right, yes, or like the no, yes kind of movements. Okay. But it's also about this time that you see a little gnomish woman like walking into the. You see this little Will sees this little. It's like just straight out of The Hobbit, my guy. This little like small creature, a woman walking in. Be like, yes, Book Maester, I'm here to help. Is this the automaton?
Yes, but no. Apparently, Will. Your name is Will.
Yeah.
What does the name 7 mean to you?
And it's at this time that like, as things are you Will are trying to. It's almost like fighting sleep, but also the fighting almost the effects of like alcohol drinking too much. Like you're kind of at that tipsy stage, but fighting also sleep. You're trying hard to kind of maintain your own consciousness.
Okay.
But you start seeing these memories of 7 since he's awoken. And so you are kind of experiencing all this, kind of as he was going through it.
But you said you were from Springfield at the Hoagland.
Yes.
Hoagland?
I think there's also a lot of confusion between Hoogland or Hoagland, even in Springfield.
Phelan, I can see how that could be.
Yes. It's 2 O's. It's confusing.
You would think that'd be Hoogland.
You would think.
So sorry, Hoagland Center for the Arts. We love you so much. We had to play on the name. You're fine. We love you. Go see shows there.
So, what happened prior to you inhabiting this body?
I had an audition for this. I don't even know what show it was. It just was for a show.
So you're a bard.
Sure, yes, yes. But I showed up, and it was me and a few other people. I kind of recognized them, but not really. But we had to read the script, and it was in like Latin or something, and then there's a bright light, and I'm here.
Latin. I don't know. Can I I'm fearful to peer any deeper into your mind because I don't know what this is, but if you don't mind, I can try and find out.
I am terrified by what that means, but if it gets me back in my actual body, go for it.
So this is not your body?
No, not at all.
Oh,
yes, you said you were human. Okay.
and he touches your forehead, Will. And there is a moment where like he sees you thumbing through the script, and kind of reading these words. We do not live in a fantasy world, so us observing glyphs kind of mean nothing to us because like it's all fantastical. We've idealized, for all we know, glyphs look completely different than how even D&D imagined it. But he sees what happened, He sees everything from the point of you reading the words and onward.
Okay.
Doesn't see anything prior to that, so he's not like looking into your life like
Good,
little
yeah,
baby Will Acton. And
Gonna be a therapy session after a while. Yeah.
oh, how are you feeling? No, I'm just kidding. What do you think about that? But he sees this, and there's almost like a synaptic feedback. He goes, oh! And like you see kind of sweat billowing down his scales.
Yeah. Ooh,
This is that is old magic, old indeed.
You've seen this before, though.
I have never seen it before, but I know those words are from a language that is long gone used in arcane. Dealings, we have some texts mentioning a word or two of those, but it's hard to compile a language of the dead.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Can you roll me? And if you need, we can roll in here. Yeah, let me, because I got so many dice.
Yeah.
Man, so many no nat 20s out of that. That's great.
Wow.
Yes, queen. That is a life counter die. I'll let you pick, but I need you to roll a. So many dog here. A wisdom's. Just a straight.
Wisdom check.
Yeah, wisdom.
11 plus 2, 13.
Okay. So. This is effectively terrifying for you, Will.
Yes.
Literally, you were at the Hoagland Center of the Arts in Springfield, Illinois, and then you find yourself manacled, shackled, unable to move, with some sort of lizard dude in front of you and some sort of Frodo Baggins next to you.
I think part of me is almost like this is a dream, but I like vivid dream to the point of like this is reality, but is it reality? Is that a dream?
If it weren't for the pain that you had just felt, you would believe this was a dream.
Yeah.
Because it would have most likely woken you up.
Hopefully.
But at this moment, the Will then takes a back seat. I'm not saying that you are repressed to the point that like you're not aware anymore. You now literally take a back seat.
Okay.
And you're watching through 7. So 7, you snap back 2, but also having now the memories of what just happened.
I'm not alone now.
Who are you telling? that you're telling me that you never experienced this will entity before?
No. He seemed nice, but no.
Did you get like a malevolent feeling from him, or?
He's innocent, I think.
This is a form of self-discovery right now, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm discovering my true self right now. Yeah.
Counseling through D&D.
But that was new for me as well. Typically, if someone is possessed by an entity, we can remove that. But it did not seem like you were possessed. It seemed like you two were the same side of a coin, or two sides of the same coin. This is worrisome. You see him for a moment, like kind of turn his head back towards the direction that you came, and just kind of says nothing before turning back. I'm having some scribes look into some things, compile something for me. You are a question mark and an exclamation mark and a caution sign all at the same time. I apologize. I need a moment to process what I just seen. Is there any way that Nessie, if you could go ahead and you see the little gnome figure be like, oh, hello. My name is Nexus Stargrace, Nessie for short. I am one of the artisans here in Volkstad, and I'm kind of, not to brag, but I'm the head of the Artisan Guild. And my friend here, the Book Maester, said that he had something interesting, and you certainly are.
Yes.
He spoke to you about possibly seeing how your components work? Is that okay?
Yes.
I'm fearful for literally what I just walked into.
Understandable. Yes.
But he's restrained, right?
Yes, he's not going anywhere.
And he starts the Book Maester Teolok starts trying to thumb through some books or something like that. And Nessie comes up and she gets out her little tools and everything. She kind of sets it on the table, rolls it out, very, very doctor-esque. Everything's neatly in its place. She does a walk around you and kind of climbs up on the seat next to you, and even on the table, just kind of says, okay. Even kind of like the rubbing the chin, kind of thinking of things. She's like, all right, I have no clue. Let's figure it out. So she starts with the breastplate that you have. She gets one of her tools, and it's not like a big old. It's just like almost like a dentist's little pick or whatever.
Okay.
And she tries to find some sort of seam along that. The moment that she kind of feels something she feels like she can work with, you feel just instant pain. You are restrained though and immobilized, so you're kind of sitting there. And you can yell if you want. I mean, it is pain. It is significant pain. But it's more like it'd be the equivalent of us trying to remove my arm while it's still attached just by yanking.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So that's kind of the feeling that you get before there is a little like flash of light where she's trying to poke into, and the tool just gets thrown away. Okay, so arcanely put on. I do not want to dispel whatever's going on here because I don't know what's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
Did you have this added on later? Do you know, like...
I think I just was.
Okay. And Book Maester Teolok,
He's an old automaton, dragonborn building, superior and everything.
Okay. Then let's try something smaller then, because this kind of protects important stuff. We're not going to mess with that. So she goes to a pauldron, and after some time, she gets a different piece out, but a tool out. There's kind of a glow at the edge of it, though. Very similar kind of to a scalpel, but she starts slowly going, and this kind of more feels like a sunburn. You feel that heat kind of rise and build, I should say. But she is able to remove it. Relatively no pain. It just kind of feels like you have a sunburn there. But as she removes it, you both see, and when Teolok, she goes, there we go. And you see Teolok turn, and when she kind of flips it over, you see these glyphs and runes kind of dancing their way underneath your metal. And where the piece was removed from, you see just the way that your exposed areas, it is very organic and wood-like with those beads of, like, I would say glowing energy going through it. You see that they're like coming to this point, and after kind of further investigation, she's seeing that like wherever there is metal, that's where kind of energy is flowing to. Okay. So the piece that she removes, you can see kind of a little bit of a, like I said, you can move yes/no motion. You turn and you can see kind of like little cauterized edges from where she used her scalpel-like thing. But you see almost what looks like if you were to make a human as an organic being, if you were to take all the sinew, all the muscles, and everything like that, if you were to somehow make it arcane in nature, so it's just pure magic, that's what you would see. So its anatomy is really no different than any other humanoid's build, but instead of seeing a meat of some sort, you just see this energy that begins to kind of it cackles almost like a fire. And she's looking at the runes that are also kind of flickering and everything, not like it's gonna blow or anything, but it becomes duller as she holds it out longer. And And she's like, okay. And she puts it back on. And it just kind of adheres again. And you just feel it reattach. Like, okay. That's new. Wow. I'm not going to lie. There is some stuff I don't recognize here. This is stuff I do not know, but there are some elements I do get.
Okay.
I have to confer with some of my other people on this and see if they are aware of anything like this. I could probably write down some of what I saw in terms of the runes and the arcane sigils and everything. But beyond that, I probably can't do anything at the moment. But I did learn a bit just from that.
Okay.
We will meet again. And she kind of like takes off like in an excited run. Okay. So Teolok goes, okay. Well, fast, efficient. That's why I like her. So, do you feel like you are going to harm me if I release you?
Are you going to give me a reason to? No.
Okay. So there's this moment that like you feel this energy dissipate off you. You're able to kind of shift around, move your head around fully. He's like, for safety's sake, though, I am, for the time being, going to keep the manacles on you. If you do grow twice your size, I need some form of reassurance. I hope you understand.
I understand.
This was weird, to say the least.
Yes.
But I did promise that I would let you search. We can search together a bit more about you in this room. Give me a moment. And he mutters something. He waves a hand, and you see this room like already kind of sealed off to the rest of the world. Just even within that, you just feel this, I don't want to say dome of energy, but you feel this energy now around the room. If something should happen, the only person you can harm now is me. You are not able to pass beyond this room until we have conducted what we needed to. That being said, we have enchanted every page. If you try to destroy it, it will blow you up.
What about Will?
I don't even know where to start on that one. It could be that he was a repressed feature that was placed inside of you at your creation. There could be maybe the reason you are so human-like is because there is a human entity that they bound within it.
Is he my soul?
And that is the existential question of the day. Do you even have a soul?
If I do, I feel like it's him, but I don't really know what a soul is.
There's some names that he said completely foreign to me. I don't understand. And like you, Will, are in the background, and you're like, I do not know what's going on. But like you're trying to comprehend what's going on, but you will feel the pain of Seven. And why don't you search with me? We'll take a look, see what we might be able to find, and we'll take it from there. Maybe there's some light here. But yeah, can you roll me an investigation check?
Yes.
Pick whatever die you want.
I can't remember what investigation's under.
It's just going to be a skill.
Was it? Yeah. That is. I'm not used to doing the app.
It's all good.
There it is. Ooh. Okay, that's pretty good. That's
okay.
21.
So there was different DCs for you depending on how much information you would get on that. It's kind of typical for those who've never played D&D. It's typically what happens. You find what is it with investigation plus
21.
21. You find quite a bit. We'll say that with Teolok with you. You do find mention of the name Caneth, which you are familiar with that name. You remember the name. At least you remember hearing it, which Teolok says that it's approximately in the area of the Grand Duchy of Wetil or the Republic of Kikothi, which is to the far west. I'm sorry, you came from the west. It's in the east. You find talks of a dragon society that they were trying to develop some sort of machine. The purpose, it's unknown, but if it were, if they tried to do something with it, like try to put it in an automaton, it's reasonable that they were just trying to build another weapon because the wilt had begun. If it was a machine in and of its own, it's understandable that it might need some sort of protective guard. So you're kind of making these possibilities in your head. Mm-hmm. But it is also known that for whatever reason, when the Endless Wilt happened, automatons of every type started gaining more humanistic traits of like personality, despair, joy, depression, and many of them even turned on their own creators. But it's actually in this one book, this super old book that is written in Draconic, but you know how books on the opening and or I guess on the covers, there's like that lining on the inside. Mm-hmm. So you actually see a little bit of it, and you dare to venture, but you tear it more because what looks like writings, you tear more, you see a sketch. I say you tear, it's more like a peeling back. Mm-hmm. So you see this kind of scribblings and this image of what looks like a gyroscope in design. And at the center is this kind of like ball of energy they try and project. And it's encased inside of a heptagon. Hept is 7, for those of you that don't know. So
made that connection before I did. Yeah.
Well, I just want, because there's people out there that don't know what a heptagon is. I'm not knocking you. I had to Google. But what do you do with that? Are you able to read Draconic?
No.
Okay.
I can read like Celestial, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, let me double check. Celestial, Common, Deep Speech. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be able to read it. Yeah. But you have this design.
Okay. I would feel conflicted as to whether I want to share it with him or if I would want to keep that for myself.
Okay.
So I don't know. I probably would hesitate for a moment, and then I think the goodness of 7 would be like, I probably they probably know more than I do, so I'll just go ahead and share it.
Okay.
And just say I discovered this drawing. Did this relate to us?
You tore a book. You tore a book.
It was like this already.
Roll me a deception check.
I was hoping you let that slide.
I'm sorry, but he knows everything in this. This face is not like this.
Oh, dirty 20.
You beat him. Yeah. I rolled a 16 plus 2 at 18. So, I must have missed it. He starts reading it, and he relates that this was in talks of a special machine that was attempting to being built that would not only combat the effects of the wilt, but reverse them.
Oh.
But he does note that it does look like they were kind of scribbling quickly, scrolling very fast. But it looks like here is an image of the mechanism for width. Old Draconic, apologies. For the powers of the machine. There we go. So I don't understand this design. I may have Nessie look at this later, apparently after she's conferred with her people. That's a wellspring of knowledge, I must say. We must find out if this machine still exists. Obviously, it did not come to fruition. Obviously, the wilt happened, the ash wars, it all happened. This machine did not come to fruition.
Well, maybe. I mean, they're the reason I reawoke. Could the machine have been finished?
Unfortunately, with this information, I do not know. I can try and confer with My other colleagues, I can try and contact maybe some other dragonborns around the world and see if maybe there's knowledge within a clan of this of some sort. But I feel like someone had knowledge of a machine that can reverse the wilt. They would have done something. But good.
From there, we'll say that the rest of the night, you do have a power down part. At one point, you are escorted back to the eventual open vestibule area with everything. From there, it's just gathering information about Lendris, Ivbaris, the Weeping City. You see a lot of like folk tale, almost like a Beowulf style of writing, in regards to Ivbaris and Lendris. And as mentioned to everyone else there the other day, that the two are synonymous. Lendris has both malevolent and benevolent kind of personality traits from these writings.
Okay.
Ivbaris is more malevolent. So
Okay.
we'll say that takes the entirety of the night. We're going to end it there. Thank you so much, Will, again for stopping by and having this one-on-one.
Happy
Congrats
birthday.
on the show. Yes, thank you. We're recording this on my birthday. So thank you so much. And be sure to look out for the interview we have with episode 3 with Tori Doctor and our next Springfield one-shot coming up. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for being on this adventure today with us. But for now, we have to take a bow as the lights come back up and we make our curtain call. We can't thank you enough for your support, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, it's 5 to Places.